So the other day, I really wanted to go out and take some photos, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to shoot. Wasn't feeling anything, and finally I just said, you know what? I'm gonna go take a walk around the neighborhood. It was actually super relaxing, and I took some really cool photos, I think. And I've really kind of been on this kick of like retro, kind of filmy type photography lately. We're gonna hop into Lightroom and I'm gonna show you how I edited those photos. That way, if you do like them, you can kind of see how I did it, how the process worked, and maybe do some of your own. Now, let's hop into Lightroom and I'm gonna show you how I edited these photos. Okay, so we're in Lightroom. Here is probably my favorite one actually of that day. This is the totally edited image, but I'm going to show you how it got to this from this, the starting point. So let's hop into a duplicate of this and we are going to edit it. The first thing I did is I chucked on a preset. If you guys are new here to this channel, I'm a big fan of presets. Some photographers are, they kind of like condescendingly look down their nose at them, but I'm a big fan. You know, I've got presets I like to use. I chuck them on there, and then from there I edit depending on what kind of look I'm going for. So I actually got these presets completely free from this really cool site. I will link it in the description below if you'd like to go get these. They were totally free. One day I was just looking for some filmy type presets to work with, and these seem to work pretty good. So they came with, you know, about, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different ones, and they're all based on some classic film, popular film types. So the one that I actually went with for this edit was this Fuji Color 400N. I just kind of like the glow it gave me, and this is where I started. So once I added that on there, the first thing I always do once I throw a preset on is I immediately go to the light and the exposure, and I try to get that correct. Pro tip, use your freaking histogram, dude. I can't tell you how helpful it is to use a histogram. Learn how to use a histogram. It just makes, you know, instead of trying to eyeball your exposure, your light, you can just look at it and know how you're looking. So using the histogram, I kind of generally expose pretty evenly. The highlights are a little bright, so I kind of brought them down a little bit. Now in this photo, it's got a really cool mixture of the highlights and this really cool shadow, this line going down the middle of it, and I really wanted to kind of bring that out in the photo. So what I did is I brought the shadows down quite a bit, but not too much. Still, so where you can see some details in there. It kind of gives it a little more of a drastic and dramatic look with the shadow. I've got the highlights still really glowing and some more dramatic. So the next thing I did is I came down and I really wanted to glow up the image. So after I get all of the light the way I'm liking it, I come down, and then that's when I start kind of working with the colors of the image. What I did is I kind of warmed it up a little bit. Let's go maybe like right here-ish. You can kind of saturate that glow a little more if you want. I think that looks pretty good right there. After I get my colors looking pretty good. Now one thing is the sky is actually a little washed out, so I want to kind of bring down a little bit of the exposure, just a touch, so it doesn't look like totally white. Now the last thing, this is just kind of personal taste. What I like to do if I'm going for more of that dreamy-ish kind of look is I like to take the clarity and I like to kind of bump it down a little bit, because it kind of makes, if you notice this right here, it kind of makes the image glow a little more. And I just think that's kind of a cool effect when you're going for like that dreamy, retro filmy vibe. So what I did is I dropped the clarity down to 10, which I thought was pretty good, but it didn't like overly do it, or, you know, again, kind of like moderation, tastefully do it. And that's pretty much it. This was the finished product. That's really all there is to it. It wasn't a lot of like, it wasn't like some crazy editing that I did. I pretty much did this with all the photos. I slapped on a preset that I liked the look of, and then from there I made some basic adjustments to, you know, really just bring the image to what I wanted it to look like. So always start with, you know, if you're gonna use a preset, I say start with that, and then get your light and your exposure looking good, and then you can start playing with the colors of your image, you know, if you're just gonna do some basic editing. I was going for a very basic, simple edit, and this would look good on Instagram, and that's pretty much it. So it was really cool, just some simple photos with some really chill edits. That's kind of how I edit towards my more film simulation looks on the Sony a7 IV. I really want to get a Fuji X100V or F for the film simulations because they look really awesome. But until then, I'll probably just keep editing that style here in Lightroom. But anyways, that's the way I do it. If you guys have a different method of doing it, let me know. I'll link these free film presets where I got them in the description below. That way, if you want to go pick them up, you can grab them. Like I said, they're totally free and I actually really like them. Appreciate you guys. Think about maybe hitting the subscribe button if you like this video. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.